the vibes, yes, family. The vibes, yes, family. Lodge up yourself, big up yourself. It's your host, Shalom, chiming in on the 1 and 2s. For a few, you know how we do. It's the vibes. It's the blood clot vibes. Yes, family. Lodge up yourself, big up yourself. It's a blood clot. Your fam chiming in to keep. I see you, King, I see you. Dreadful Cosmo, I see you. Deshaun, I see you. Tabitha, I see you. The family chiming in. I just came on the vibe out, man. I ain't got no particular topic. So let me just hop on live so y'all can watch me smoke some bud. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family. Yes, family. I'm putting together my next presentation. You know what I mean? It's going to be the 22nd arc cycle after the creation of man, what we dealing with on this one. You know what I mean? 7,053 BC to 3953 BC. Within that time scope is the next presentation I'm putting together. You know what I mean? In this time period is the time period of Zarathustra. You know, they got the timetables. Watch this shit, the time periods of Zarathustra just as bad. You know what I mean? They put Zarathustra like 1800, 1700, 1500 BC around them times, but Zarathustra is 7th millennium BC. Niggas gonna be like, bruh. Yeah, so within that time scope, the 22nd arc cycle after the creation of man is the time of Zarathustra. And this is before Egypt. This is an arc cycle. This is a 3,000 year period before Egypt. And see, that's the problem. It's like, you know, these historical figures has been placed out of date, out of time period. Even with the story of Moses. When we was looking for the story of Moses, according to the Bible, Moses, according to the Bible, you would look for Moses in the New Kingdom. Because in the Bible, it mentions Ramses, and Ramses is the New Kingdom. But kind of found out the time of Moses was not the New Kingdom, nor did he exist during the time of Ramses. Moses exists. We had to push Moses further back. See that? They said Moses' time period was Ramses because it says they built storehouses and treasures for Ramses. So we're like, oh, okay, Moses during the time of Ramses. The time of Ramses is what, 12th century BC. Kind of find out Moses didn't exist during the time of Ramses. We had to push it further back. Kind of find out the 15th century BC is where we found more compelling evidence of Moses and the people living in Israel. Let me get my whatchamacallit. Let me dump this right quick. It's a blood clot vibes. You know what I mean? When we dealing with time periods, man, time periods be off. But the Awaspi gives us a time period. And as you've been seeing, as I've been breaking down these videos, you see how the time period coincides with whatever the Awaspi is bringing out. So when we talked about the cycle of thought, I was bringing out the petroglyphs and the cycle of Thor was damn near 12,000 years ago, or 15,000 years ago. We see evidence. Everything I brought out, we brought evidence from that time period. Whether it be evidence that's on a detailed level or if it's evidence that's just scarce, it's still evidence. Yeah. Gazelle, I see you. P. Sharice, I see you. I see y'all chiming in. Israel, I see you. Crunches, I see you. You know what I mean? No particular topic. We just vibing because it's a vibe. Put together this next presentation. We going into Zarathustra next. The time period of Zarathustra. Because now, check this out. See, when you read the Owaspy, you got to read the pattern. You got to see what's going on. Let me see if I can pull up this page. But yeah, you got to see what's going on with the way Owaspy is being carried down through the histories of the book. So like when we get to the let me see something. Yeah, here we go. You know what I mean? Stop this real quick. Yeah, so the Owaspy is read from the creation of man to our present time. And then it shows you the developmental growth of humans from the creation to our present time. And it's in likeness of a child, you know what I mean? Share my screen real quick. Quick fast. So it's like that right there. You know what I mean? The growth of the human race is like this. The same way a child comes into the world, crawl before he walks, got to learn his alphabet, got to become a responsible young kid, and into a teenager or adolescent, and then into an adult. The whole human species is moving as a child to an adult. So when man was first created, goo goo gaga, learning how to walk and all that, and then as man progressed overall as a whole species is what we're dealing with. So that's the beautiful thing about the Owaspy. It shows you the growth of the human species. So the last couple of ARC videos I brought out, like with Thor, is dealing with the petroglyphic system, showing men how to communicate with petroglyphic systems, rock carvings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Showing you at one time, man just wasn't all-knowing. He had to develop these things. You know what I'm saying? The same way we develop our talents in school and things of that nature to grow and keep the education growing and stuff like that. Likewise with the growth of the human race. You know what I mean? That's what the whole the Stone Age, the middle, the upper Stone Age, the middle Stone Age, the Neolithical Stone Age. Then we went to the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. All this is the development of the human species, period. See what I'm saying? Excuse me while I like my spliff. Yeah, we are. I see you. Peace, King. Ben Israel. Peace to the God. Stephen, spiritual light, beloved brother. I see you. Belinda, I see you. Malachi Maccabee in the building. Peace to the righteous God. I see you, King. Yeah, man. I ain't got no particular topic. Just decided to get on. It's a vibes. You know what I mean? You got any questions? Throw them in the chat. But you know how we do. We'll just vibe it out. But I'm just giving you some insight on the next presentation I'm putting together, which is going to be the 22nd arc cycle after the creation of man, dealing with the time of Zarathustra. And one thing I forgot to mention in the last video I did with the cycle of Osiris is that during the cycle of Osiris, it was the birth of what we know as the Shepherd Kings. The Shepherd Kings came on the scene during the cycle of Osiris 12,000 years ago. So you hear about the Shepherd Kings in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You hear about the Shepherd Kings in Egypt with the when did the Shepherd Kings come in? They came in with Middle Kingdom. Well, it's different successions that people was coming from Canaan or the Levant coming into Egypt. But we definitely know Kenemhotep II on the walls. You see the Asiatics coming in. You know what I mean? So we talking Middle Kingdom Egypt in comparison to 12,000 years ago or 10,000 BC when the Owaspy first referenced the Shepherd Kings. So that's interesting. How Owaspy gives us time periods that predates what we know as common history. Like when we look at history, we think of Narmer of Egypt. That starts the first kingdom. And coming on down is when we start getting a real clear idea of history. But everything before Narmer, dealing with the Nakada period, dealing with the Ubaid period, the Genzar period of Sumer, all these different periods, pre-dynastic Egypt and pre-dynastic Sumer, is scarce. You don't see no literature like that. You see pottery, you see little broken things of that nature, but you don't see hard-body evidence and literature like you see with the pyramid texts and all that. So our recap of history of what we know was only 6,000 years ago. What I'm showing you things going before 6,000 years, although it's not defined where we read in text, but we see evidence of practices or evidence of ruins and monuments and bones and skulls from the time period that wherever we was reading from, whether it was the cycle of Thor or the cycle of Apollo. Like the cycle of Apollo, we're talking about the evolution of the human genome as far as beautifying the shape of mortals. It said during the cycle of Apollo, the shape we have today comes from that time period, 18,000 years ago. So I found that quite interesting. And I was like, damn, okay, do we have any evidence of any evolution through the human genome during them times? And then we pulled out one. New discovery 18,000 years ago, a new species of blah, 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 blah. And it was the Homo fluorescens, I think that was. But nonetheless, the Owaspy can go before what we know is common history and show us what was going on back then. And we can even pull up some evidence of that time period. It may not be much, but it is something. Something is better than nothing, right? So if you could read from the Bible something that took place 18,000 years, see, you can't even pinpoint a time period in the Bible. So like the same way I'm going through these arc cycles of 3,000 years, of the cycles of Thor, the cycles of Apollo, and giving you time periods, 18,000 years here, 15,000 years here, 12,000 years here, and then bring out and extrapolate evidence of those time periods, coinciding with the Owaspy is saying. You can't do that with the Bible. If you was to ask somebody who read the Bible what was going on 18,000 years ago, they don't know. They don't know how to pinpoint the time period. There is no time period. The only time period that you can try to calculate in the Bible is just by like adding up the years, like from Adam to Noah. And then you'll come up with a calculation, an estimate. But those estimates is not based off the time periods of history, it's just based off the time periods of humans being born into the world. And we already know, like the time period of Adam being 900 years, 700, all those is allegorical. See what I'm saying? Because the creation story was created by a fallen angel off the rip. We got that. See, Anu Hassad, who gave you the creation story, who gave you the Garden of Eden, who gave you the flood account, what Anu Hassad didn't do is give you a time period. He didn't give you a time period. He just gave, he was so stuck on wanting to be glorified that he half-assed his doctrine. You know what I mean? He didn't come correct with his own doctrine. He came half-assed. And with a half-assed doctrine, you got a half-assed belief system. And a half-assed people following your belief system. So you can't get mad. When we start exposing these things, you got to blame your God. Because he wasn't being detailed enough. He thought niggas wasn't going to ask these questions in later years. Like we was just some fools. See that? Now she coming home to roost. She can come home to roost. What's the saying go? She can come home to roost or whatever. Yeah, these false gods, man, your doctrines is coming back to taunt you niggas. Because you lied to us thinking we were going to believe this shit forever. Not knowing in thousands of years the creator was going to be like, no. I'm going to expose you niggas as false. And I'm going to raise up those to speak out against you as being false. And here we are. Here we are. We calling out these false gods. Now look at this. It's a blood clot vibes. Now watch this. Look at this. This is the 23rd arc cycle, and this is the 24th arc cycle after the creation of man. The 23rd arc cycle, 3953 BC to 1553 is the 23rd arc cycle. And the 24th arc cycle is 1553 BC to 1848 AD present time. Now, these two arc cycles, the 23rd and the 24th, encompasses the whole creation story of the Bible. Look here, what it says: start of Hebrew calendar creation of the cosmos. That started in 3761 BC. 3761 BC is when God created the heavens and the earth. When it states in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, that took place 3761 BC. That's when the creation, the 7-day creation, Adam and Eve, all that, that's then. And then when we go from Adam to Noah, it brings us to 2106 BC. Now, this is supposed to be their time period. This is supposed to be the biblical time period. But notice creation is starting during the Nakata period. The Nakata period of Egypt is 4th millennium BC, going further up, 4th millennium BC. So Egypt is older than your God's creation. How can Egypt be here before the world was created? The world was created in 3761 BC. This is actual fact. We ain't making this shit up. This is what the calendar said. Now, this is an illustration I put together to convey the message, to show you how inconsistency the time period is. Because for us, this is hold up. See, the creation story started in the 23rd arc cycle. Look, your creation story of the Bible is starting 23 arc cycles after our creation story. See where it says creation of man here? And you see these numbers, 1, 2, 3, all these numbers are 3,000 year periods. So from the first arc cycle to the 23rd arc cycle is 3,000 year periods. But this is when your creation story starts in the 23rd arc cycle. 3761 BC is within the 23rd arc cycle. But our shit started way before back here. See that? So you got all this going on. You got the first arc cycle to the 22nd arc cycle. All this going on before the biblical creation story. Keep in mind, look, it's a time of the flood, sinking of Pan. That was in the 17th arc cycle, the Ark of Noah. But your creation story wasn't even in existence yet because it started in the 23rd arc cycle. 3761 BC, the time of the flood, 25,000 years ago. This is 6,000 years ago. Your creation story is 6,000 years old, and the Iwasmi lets us know that the sinking of the continent of Pan, or the deluge, was 24,000 years ago. So your creation story of a flood would have had to take place within the 23rd arc cycle, right up in here. This is when your flood story would have had to make sense. We bring back out the scale again. This is the 23rd and the 24th arc cycle. This arc cycle, and this arc was stretched out right here. So see, 3761 BC, time of creation. So the time of the flood would have been 2106 BC. That would have been during the Middle Kingdom of Egypt. See that? The deluge would have been the Middle Kingdom of Egypt. So if the flood is true, it would have been a record of those in the Middle Kingdom writing down the events of the deluge, but we don't see that nowhere. We don't see Amenemhet III talking about no deluge. We don't see none of the Middle Kingdom pharaohs talking about a deluge during the time of the Middle Kingdom. Or better yet, the Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom or the Middle Kingdom does not record a deluge or a flood, neither in Egypt, neither in Sumer. And a lot of the history from Asia and China, in India, is not even around during this time. They was over there destroying each other's literature. So the flood is 2106 BC. So that's off. The starting of the creation story is off. So the whole Hebrew calendar is false. And we're showing you how it's false. So from the flood of Noah to Abraham, they got Abraham at 1684 BC. 1684 BC. Guess what? The Israelites was over there in Egypt doing a sojourn. in Egypt? How can Abraham be 1684 BC when Israelites is already flourishing in the Middle Kingdom in Egypt? The Middle Kingdom is when the Israelites, the Asiatics, came into Egypt on the walls of Kemetic II. That's 1900, 2000 BC when they walked in. And then they left out of there with the rise of Amos, with the expulsion of the Hikikasu. So from 2000 BC to 1553 BC would have been the time period that Israel would have been in Egypt. That's your 400 years right there. But this is the same time period that they said Abraham came on the scene. So what I'm showing you is that the time periods are off dealing with the biblical time period in comparison with the Owaspi's time period, showing you the difference, showing you that your creation story starts. Your creation story starts. Look. Your creation story starts when we 23 arc cycles already in. See that? See right here. This is a perfect example. See, the creation of man in the Owaspi is the first arc cycle. That's roughly 80,000 years ago. 78,000 years ago is when man was created. 78,000 years ago is when man was created according to the Owaspi. According to the Bible, man was created 6,000 years ago. You see the difference? See the big difference in that? So this is the 23rd arc cycle. The 23rd arc cycle, 3953 BC, 3761 BC is when your creation starts. So your whole concept of creation of the Hebrew calendar, it starts 23 arc cycles after the creation of man. Your shit started during the Nakada period of Egypt, then pre-dynastic Egypt, then the Old Kingdom, then the Middle Kingdom. And look, and like I was saying earlier about Moses, I told you they put Moses in the time period of Ramses. Now look at Ramses. This is the New Kingdom. I told you the Israelites spent the Israelite sojourn was the Middle Kingdom. The last pharaoh of the Middle Kingdom was Moses. And then after the collapse of the Middle Kingdom, you have the intermediate period, but I don't really think that the intermediate period was a whole total separate period. I think they ran concurrent. So I think that once the Middle Kingdom fell, Amos came with the New Kingdom, 1546 BC, when Amos took the throne around that time. See that? So the New Kingdom, the Exodus already took place. Israel is way up in Sinyan, Canaan around this time of 12, the time period that they say Moses was in Egypt. 1254 BC is the time of Moses. That's off. That's the New Kingdom. The Exodus already took place. And the proof that the time period is off is that there is no major migration of people leaving Egypt during the New Kingdom. The only time you have a migration of thousands of people leaving Egypt is during the reign of Amos the First, which was the beginning of the Middle Kingdom. The beginning of the New Kingdom and the ending of the Middle Kingdom. So by the time we get up here, nigga, Moses and them been gone. The Israelites been gone. They up in the land of Canaan around this time. They in the wilderness around this time. And then the Owaspi said they spent 400 years in the wilderness and not 40 years. See that? And that makes more sense because when you start seeing evidence of Israelites or Hebrews pillaging the land is during the Amarna Aletas, and the Amarna Aletas is around 12th, 11th century BC. See that? And then when you come to Yeshua, you got 1 AD BC. This is the whole AD BC before the death of Christ, after the death of Christ, all that, or before Common Era, after, all that is right here. This is your AD BC period right here, but that took place in the 24th arc cycle. See, the 24th arc cycle ended in 1848 AD, coming back to the first century here, coming back to the BC, coming back to the beginning of the 24th arc cycle, 15th century BC right here. So the whole BC AD concept came within the 24th arc cycle. And the only reason we're using it is so you can understand, because we don't need to use a BC and AD concept to understand the time period. Because Owaspi has its own time period before and after the creation of man. The arc cycles is the time period. The first arc cycle after the creation of man, the second arc cycle after the creation of man, and that's how the time period is counted up here. But when we add the BC and AD, if you want to present that, it's right here. It shows you how much. It shows you how scarce the time period is. You thinking we've been on this planet for millions of years? Nah, nigga, we ain't been on here that long. Definitely been on here longer than 6,000 years. I'll say that, though. And again, here go another chart with the time periods. Here go another chart. This is the 24th arc cycle and the 25th. They go 1 AD. Look at 1 AD coming back in history to the first arc cycle. Look at all that. Look at that. Look at 1 AD right there. And look at the histories coming back. Look at all this. Look at the time of the flood, 22,553 BC. Look at the first era of civilization, 43,553 BC. The Bible don't talk about these time periods and these eras based off of increments of 3,000 year periods. So we ain't missing nothing. From the creation of man to our present time, we ain't missing no histories. So we could pinpoint anywhere here. All right, we want to talk about the first era of civilization, bam, we going here. We want to talk about the flood, all right, we going here. We want to talk about the dynasties of Egypt, we going here. We want to talk about Yahshua, we go in the first century. So we have the time period locked down. Don't nobody got a time period better than us. The kemetic niggas ain't got no time period better than us like this. You know what I mean? You know, showing like the Olaspi is giving you a time period of history. You dig? It's a blood clot vibe, yeah. So we let you know right off the rip. When it comes to that timeline, Olaspi got a good timeline. No doubt on that. It's a blood clot vibes. You know, no doubt. I almost didn't explain nobody. No doubt. But just based off the narrative of what people know in history. Not everybody know what we know as far as the history of the Olaspi, so I gotta speak in layman terms sometimes so they can understand. You know what I mean? Until they get this understanding of your Olaspi, then we can explain in more depth and detail about I almost didn't expel nobody, but just for the record of history of how history knows it, we give it to them like that. And then when they step in the goddamn ring, we feed them the goddamn rest of it. You feel me? Stop trying to sow shade on Kemet. Nobody's throwing shade on Kemet. We telling the truth. That's what we're doing. Kemet ain't the creator, nigga. We don't worship Kemet. That's our best proof of history as black people. That's what that is. We don't worship no Kemet. We don't worship no Israel. We don't worship no David, no Solomon, no Yahshua, no Pharaohs. We know that we laid the foundation of civilization. We know that. I'm showing you that before Kemet. See what I'm saying? We showing you go Tepi Pepi back 12,000 years ago before Kemet. See what I'm saying? Just show me a first astronomical observation 12,000 years ago in Kemet. We can show you one in go Tepi Pepi. We can show you one in Turkey, my nigga. Turkey, of all places. Goddamn Turkey. Children niggas was running around Turkey. Niggas want to bring up Kemet. Alright. Because you know, I feed niggas what they want. So you want to bring up Kemet, right? This is Kemet. This is Kemet, right? This is the normal palette, right? He said I'm throwing shade on Kemet. Who throwing shade on who right here? This is 3100 BC. 2,768 years before Alexander the Greek reigned over Egypt, 332 BC. And what you see right here, family, what he doing? What he doing? What Narmer doing to this brother? He said, I'm throwing shade on Kemet. Kemet is throwing shade on itself with this evidence right here. Brother killing brother, 3100 BC. Bruh, you need to relax. And understand that when we bring things to the table, it's all spiritual. We don't deal with nationality. We're not stuck on nationality. Because every time you want to get stuck on nationality, I'm gonna bring you right back here to remind you that your own brother was slaying brother before a goddamn white man. Was there no white man here 3100 BC, right? This is Narmer. And he got a brother by the hair about to slay him, about to strike him. And then what you see right here is two brothers dead already. They under his feet. They dead. This is 3100, you know. You want to talk about throwing shade on Kemet? Nigga, Kemet was throwing shade from the beginning on itself. Now let's look at this picture. Look at this. Look at these brothers right here. This is supposed to be Nama. He got the crown on. I think that's the crown of Upper Egypt. And then look what he got. He's having a procession. He's moving. But look over here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 brothers with their head chopped off, plates between their legs. I don't see no goddamn Tamu here. What Jabari say to Tamu? I don't see no Tamu here. I don't see no Edomites here. I don't see no Alexander the Greeks and the Europeans here. I see niggas killing niggas here. That's what I see. So who throwing shade on Kemet? And then if you want to goddamn get technical, nigga, we dealing with the laws of Maat, right? We supposed to be following the laws of Maat. That's what the ancient Egyptians supposed to be doing, right? The petitioners announced the 42 divine principles of Maat. These are some of the principles right here. And I added some of these principles right next to Nama as to see if Nama following what he's supposed to be upholding. And as we see, Nama ain't upholding none of the goddamn laws of Maat. So don't talk about throwing shade when niggas wasn't following their own goddamn philosophies in the beginning, because Nama is the first nigga. He's the one who unified Upper and Lower Egypt, and he ain't following none of the goddamn laws of Maat. What does it say? I have not slain men or women. What do these niggas look like right here? They slain. So he has not upheld the fourth law of Maat. I have not terrorized anyone. What it look like he doing? He terrorizing this brother right here. See that? This easy work, man. Stop playing with me. This easy work. Kemet threw shade on Kemet long before we even came on the goddamn scene. I have not behaved with violence. He's behaving in violence. To chop niggas' heads off and put it between their heads is behaving in violence. To kill niggas and have them laying right up in here under the ground is behaving in violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. It damn sure look like he's causing plenty of disruption of peace. So we're not going to play the shade game. I'm going to just give you a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit. That's what's hanging over the kemetic niggas' head. So when they step into the ring, that's what they got to deal with. Show me which nigga in Kemet upheld Maat, and I can show you that none of them niggas upheld Maat. So I'm showing you the bullshit between the Israelites. I'm beating up the Israelites. We beating up the kemetic. We beating up anybody who go against Creator. I don't give a damn what your nationality is, nigga. So don't talk to me about throwing shade on Kemet when Kemet was killing them niggas in the beginning. Killing niggas. Black on black crime, 3100 BC. Hell you talking about? You dig? It's a blood clot vibe. That's why niggas better stay in their goddamn place. Don't come to me with that nationality. We need to stick together. Nigga, you niggas been killing niggas since the beginning. Huh? Joseph betrayed his brothers. That was the beginning of the patriots of Israel. The beginning of Kemet was Nama and they killing niggas. So don't talk to me about throwing shade on no nationality or no Kemet when you niggas was killing niggas before we was even on this motherfucker. I'm just showing you past evidence of what your brothers was doing to their own brothers 3100 BC. Hell you talking about? Don't get the God started. Exactly. Easy work. Easy work. Easy work. Easy goddamn work. Ain't none of these niggas serving the Creator. You know, they talk about Maat so much. Maat uphold. Nigga, which one of these niggas upheld Maat, nigga? Let me go back for a minute. Nigga, which one of these fuck niggas upheld Maat? This is Nama bitch ass. This bitch ass Nama, nigga. What laws of Maat this pussy ass nigga holding up? None of them, nigga. What law 32 say? It's 42 of these motherfuckers. I only pulled out what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is only 6. And keep in mind, if you break the laws of Maat, your ass gonna go to the Amit, nigga. You forgot about that? Now, let me show y'all. Yeah, this nigga done opened up the wrong can of worms. Talking about a nigga throwing shade. Nigga, you have no clue what the hell you talking about. This the judgment hall of Maat. Let's settle this. This is what the kemetic niggas got to deal with when we step to them niggas. And this is easy work for them. The kemetic niggas is going to be way more easier than the biblical niggas. Because these niggas say this shit is a fairy tale and it don't exist. So they don't know what the fuck they talking about. They don't know what their spirituality is. So this is the judgment hall of Maat. This is the judgment. This is supposed to be when you get judged after you die. See that? This is the judgment hall of Maat. This is the scale of Maat. This is the feather of Maat. This is your heart on the scale of Maat. Your heart got to be balanced with Maat. Your heart got to be lighter than the feather in order to become one with Osiris in the afterlife, in the Duat, or the fields of reed, or the fields of rush. See, I know this shit. I told you I start out with Kemet, nigga. So this determines everything of your spirituality in the kemetic spiritual system. This chart right here is the determining factor of your life after death. And this is Tahuti taking note on the scale of Ma'at to see if your heart is lighter than the feather or not. Now, coming back to Narmer, bitch ass. Let's get the bitch ass Narmer. Where his bitch ass at? This is bitch ass Narmer, right? This nigga done broke 6 of the 42 laws of Ma'at, and I didn't even go through the rest of them niggas. So obviously, Narmer is not following the laws of Ma'at because he says, I have not slain men. He broke that law. So what that mean? That mean this nigga heart getting heavier than a feather, just off that first one. Let's go to the second one. The 23rd, I have not terrorized anyone. He broke that law. Nigga, his heart getting heavier. It's getting lighter than that feather over here. What's the next one? I have not been exclusive. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused. He done did all these things. Those are 6 principal things of Ma'at he done broke. So guess what? This nigga heart is lighter than the feather. If his heart is lighter than the feather, guess what happens to him? He gets eaten by this creature right here called the Amit. Let's look up the Amit. Let's see what the hell an Amit is. This is kemet we talking about now. This nigga tried to say I'm throwing shade on kemet, so now we're going to show that kemet been throwing shade on itself. This is the Amit in Egypt. What is the Amit? Look at this. This is the Amit. This creature right here, this is the Amit. What does it say? Devourer of the dead. So when we come back to the scale of Ma'at, if your shit ain't balanced, guess what he is there to do? Devour the dead. See? See that? This is the equivalent of your biblical Satan. But this is a mythical creature because they said they shit is made up, so it's not real. So they want to talk about fairy tales and comic books. Bitch, this is where it started. So here go an alligator head. Let me read what it says so y'all can see for yourself. Now look, this is in ancient Egypt. It states what? Abbot, devourer of the dead, also rendered Amut or Amet, was a goddess in ancient Egyptian religion with the 4 quarters of a lion. Now this is a woman at that. With the 4 quarters of a lion, the hinder quarters of a hippopotamus, and the head of a crocodile. Now these 3 animals zoomorphosized into this creature called the Amet. The 3 largest man-eating animals known to ancient Egyptians. So they use this creature as a synopsis of devouring the spirits of the dead. So if your heart is in balance with Ma'at, you go see this nigga. So obviously, guess where goddamn Narmer bitch ass at? Guess where Narmer at? He with this nigga. He in the dude. He's being devoured in. He's being devoured by this guy. Why? Because his heart wasn't balanced on the Ma'at. Why? Because he over here terrorizing, killing niggas. He got 10 niggas with their heads chopped off right here. 10 niggas. Which one of you niggas could be walking down the street in your hood and see, can you imagine seeing 10 niggas shot dead in your hood? That's overkill. You're going to be like, all right, man, we gone too far. 2 or 3 niggas, you be like, all right. When you start hearing about 4 or 5 niggas dying at one time, it's like, all right, my nigga. That shit ain't, what part of the game is that? But here in Egypt, you got 10 niggas with their heads chopped off between their legs. If we was in the projects, and you see, if you know one of the niggas in the project supposed to be one of the rough niggas, and he chopped off 10 niggas' heads, put them between their legs, and the word got out that nigga did that in the hood to 10 niggas, you ain't fucking with that nigga. You gonna look at that nigga like this, the evilest nigga I ever met in my life to do some shit like that. So why we ain't looking at Narmer like this? This is supposed to be the first Pharaoh of Egypt who unified Upper and Lower Egypt. What the hell was going on for these niggas to be at war? I thought we supposed to be brothers. And look at the goat. Look at this right here. Look at that. I showed that symbol on the video I did on let me see if I can pull that up. That's crazy. How these symbols show. What video was that I did? Man, what was that? Oh. The one on which one was that? Hold up, family. I think that was the cycle of. No. Yeah, what's the last one I did with the Osiris? That's what it was. Check this. Let me see this shit moving slow. Come on. All right, so check it, right? It's the cycle of Osiris. Where'd that go, Becky Tepe? You know what? No, I got to look for that one. That was on the other one. But coming back to this nigga, all right, I want to show some relevance with this bull on a previous relic thousands of years before with the same characteristics of the bull with his head pointed in that direction. But I just drifted off on that when I seen it. But yeah, coming back to this nigga Nama now, he ain't fulfilled none of the laws of Maat. So his spirit is being devoured. He over here getting, he ain't make it to Osiris. Just know this. Just know that this nigga Nama right here, who's wearing the crown of this is the crown of lower Egypt, and this is the crown of upper Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. This is Haru right here. See what I'm saying? But look, Narmer broke the laws of Ma'at, which means his spirit is going to be devoured by the Amet, so he don't even go to Osiris. But he fronting like he's going to be one with Osiris, because look, he got the same cap that Osiris got on, which is rulership and kingdom, showing that he's king. But the problem is, Narmer, your ass ain't follow none of these laws of Ma'at. You broke all these laws, and that's just a couple of them I pulled out, not all of them, because there's 42 of them. Now, that 42, he already done broke 6 of these motherfuckers. And believe you me, it's more out than 42 we could pull out that he probably broke, which would prove that his heart is unbalanced and he's going to get devoured by the Amet. He's going to get devoured by this. This is their spiritual system. Look what it say right here. Lake of fire. Hold up. Look what it say. Once Amet swallows the heart, the soul was believed, let's get it, the soul was believed to become restless forever. That was called to die a second time. That's biblical. Amet was also sometimes said to stand by a lake of fire in some traditions. The unworthy hearts were cast into the fiery lake to be destroyed. This is where your biblical lake of fire comes from. These ideas was already existing and permeating throughout ancient Kemet. Talking about a fiery lake. Huh? Some scholars believe Amet and the lake represent the same concept of destruction. So guess where this nigga at? Guess where Narmer at, family? This nigga in the lake of fire. Huh? They want to say that the Bible and Christianity copies Kemet. Now we showing you where they got it from. The lake of fire comes out of Kemet. They made that shit up. See that? So if any of these Hebrew Israelites and Christians had any sense, if you want to defeat the kemetic, all you got to do is say, if we stole everything from you, then you're the origin of the problem. Not Christianity, not the Bible, not the Torah. You niggas, because you laid the foundation for Christians to copy this concept, for Hebrews to copy this concept. So now the point is, the finger is pointed back at you, Kemet. If that's the case, this is the first Pharaoh. The first Pharaoh went to hell after his physical death. He went to go... His heart got swallowed up by the Amet. And his soul was what? Believed to be what? Become restless. His ass deserved to be, Narmer deserved to become restless, because over here he got 10 niggas with their heads chopped off. Their souls are restless. You think them niggas don't want vengeance for the niggas who chopped their heads? If a nigga chopped your head off, you think you don't want vengeance on that man? I don't give a damn what nationality, what race you are. If somebody end up chopping your head off in an altercation, you're going to be in spirit like, nah, bro, you're going to do me like that? I got to get this brother back. I got to get him. This nigga cut my head. You up in the spirit world telling other spirits, man, how you get here? Man, a nigga chopped my head off. The other spirit's like, damn, nigga, that's fucked up. You know, I got through here. I got shot. One nigga may be like, I died in my sleep. One nigga may be like, yo, I got in a car accident. But you got your head chopped off? Oh, man, that's fucked. These are the spirits and spirit talking about how they physically died. Just being sarcastic. But I'm showing you, don't let these kemetic niggas fool you like these niggas is up holy and pure, when the very first Pharaoh, his spirit is in the goddamn mouths of the Amet being devoured. And it says, look, and this was called to die a second time. Where the concept of an idea of a second death comes at? Where do you hear a concept of a second death? In the Bible. That's where you hear that. And then it states what? It states what? The Amet was also sometimes said to stand by a lake of fire. In some traditions, the unworthy heart were cast into the fiery lake to be destroyed. Now, this is the unworthy goddamn heart of Narmeraz, and this is where his ass is going. In a fiery lake to be destroyed. This is their concept. They made this shit up. The Waspy don't support this bullshit. Owaspy let us know that the lakes of fire come from the false gods. So whoever created this concept of the Ammit, although this is a zoomorphized creature to convey a spiritual concept, but we know what the spiritual concept is. Your ass gonna be thrown in a lake of fire. That's why I say the kemetic concept is just as ridiculous as the Christians. We gonna beat them up the same way we beat up the Christians. I mean the Hebrew Israelites and the Christians. The lake of fire is a concept that appears in what? Both ancient Egyptian and Christian religion. So we gotta blame the Egyptians if the Christians borrowed it. In ancient Egypt, it appears as an obstacle on the journey through the underworld, which can destroy or refresh the deceased. In Christianity, it is a place of after-death punishment for the wicked. See that? Same shit, really. Just modified through the ages. Modified through the ages. Easy work, my nigga. Easy goddamn work, man. Come on, bro. You niggas is going to see a female. Now, the Ammit, they said the Ammit is a woman. They said it's a goddess. Hold up, right there. Let me show y'all just to remind y'all that this is a woman that they talking about. Like, goddamn, y'all could have did better than that. Look, right there. It say, look, the Ammit was a goddess in ancient Egyptian religion. So this is a goddess right here. Hey, you can't blame me for this shit. I'm going by what they saying. This is a female goddess right here. This goddess is devouring and throwing niggas in a lake of fire for breaking the laws of Maat. So Narmer, sorry, buddy, your ass is thrown in the lake of fire. Who else we got thrown in the lake of fire? Let's go to the next Pharaoh. The next Pharaoh, this nigga right here. Hor-Aha. He ran during the same time of Narmer. He's the nigga right after Narmer, if not mistaken. And look how he got people. This is during the next Pharaoh's time period, and he got niggas in captives. Don't that look like niggas in slavery? This is ancient Kemet we talking about. This is before the Tamu. This is before the European. And they got niggas in chains, just like we were in chains in slavery. See that? The niggas in slavery. See that? See the niggas in slavery? See that? See that? Where that? See that? See that? Huh? This is the pharaohs of the old kingdom. This is before the pyramids. And they got captives, just like you see here. And then what does the laws of Maat say? I have not terrorized anyone. Nigga, you've been terrorizing these people. They look terrorized to me. Huh? I have not slain men or women. I'm sure these niggas probably done got slain. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. These niggas ain't at peace. This is a disruption of peace to these people. I have not worked evil. Nigga, this is evil. Ain't this evil? Ain't this a disruption of peace? So this Pharaoh, guess what? This Pharaoh, Hor-Ah, his ass got ate up by the goddamn Ammit too because he broke the laws of Maat. We could go through every goddamn Pharaoh from old kingdom to the new kingdom, and we could show and prove ain't none of these niggas live up to what you call Maat. The only nigga who lived up to Maat is this nigga you see right here, Hanifa. This is the only nigga who made it. This is the only nigga on record who made it. Hanifa walks in with Anubis. Then he goes up here to get judged by he professes his petition to these judges, the 42 judges. And while that's going on, Anubis is weighing the scale to make sure he passes each one of the confessions. And the Ammit is sitting here ready to devour the heart if it's become unbalanced at the ending of the confession. Tahuti is taking note, keeping a record and filing the record of the person's heart. And then it shows Hanifa with Haru showing that he passed the test. And then you see Haru pointing to Osiris, meaning you now can enter into the realm of Osiris, which is the field of Rush. You become one with Osiris now. Osiris is your god. This is your afterlife concept. You ain't going to Etheria. You niggas going to this nigga right here sitting on his throne. The idea of God sitting on the throne, all this shit come out of ancient Egypt, right? But saying that to say, Hanifa is the only nigga who made it. Narmer didn't make it. Or didn't make it. All these niggas is breaking the laws. Look at that. They got these niggas captives. This is 3100 BC. Ain't no niggas, ain't no Tamu around here. Ain't no Edomites around here. These is niggas. And they being carried off just like this by their own people. 3100 BC. So we're not going to play them games and act like these niggas was following the same way Israel was following a false god doing dumb shit. So was the kemetic niggas over here slaying niggas and breaking all the laws of Maat. We got another one. See that? They warring. They at war. Look at that. He got his club about to strike this nigga, and this nigga got the ankle about to do a jujitsu or Muay Thai move and clip the nigga up. They at war. So both of these niggas is going to hell. Huh? This the 18th dynasty. This guy. What it say? I have not slain men. These niggas about to slay each other. Back then, ain't no goddamn stopping the fight. Them niggas fighting to the death. It ain't like today. Them back then, nigga, when them niggas warring, they fighting to the death. It stated what? I have not caused disruption of peace. Both of these niggas is at war. Ain't no peace here. It's a disruption. I'm sure this nigga got niggas on his team, and I'm sure he got soldiers on his team. I have not behaved with violence. These niggas is behaving with all sorts of violence. So guess what? This nigga, he ain't make it. He ain't make it either. And we could keep going through all the pharaohs of Egypt and show and prove that ain't none of these niggas lived up to Maat, and they all gonna be devoured by this pretty goddess called the Ammit, the devourer of the dead. Come on, man. Y'all niggas don't want to put that bullshit up against the OSP. We're gonna make you niggas look just as stupid as these goddamn Israelites. Give me a one in the chat if you get this understanding. It's a blood clot vibes. Yes, family. Yes, family. It's a vibes. Was a traitor, so that means he was throwing shade on his own goddamn people to be a traitor among his own kemetic family. No Hebrews there, no Tamu there. See, you niggas bury ourselves in the sand every time. Where's that shit going? Let's see your family. I see them ones coming in. That means I get this understanding. It's a blood clot vibe. You know, you always got that one weak link. Don't want to bring out position. But when we expose him, he can't accept the exposure. So the light be too bright, so the niggas gotta go running hot in the darkness because they can't take this light when that shit starts shedding. They thought they had one up. Niggas thought they had one up. Yeah, that's what the kemetic niggas got hanging over their head. The pharaohs that didn't live up to the laws of Maat. And what is the consequences for not living up to the laws of Maat? That's what we dealing with when we go with the kemetic niggas. See that? I started out with ancient Egypt. I love the Great Pyramids, my nigga. Them are the illest monuments ever designed on the surface of the goddamn planet. We ain't shitting on Kemet. That's our shit, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? When you want to show history and greatness about our people, nigga, I'm taking niggas to Egypt. That's the best of the best we got to show. But when it comes down to creator and not confusing creator with these concepts, these aspects of nature, because niggas get lost in the aspects of nature. They get lost in the creation and forget creator. That's what we're doing over here. We're reminding you of creator. It's a blood clot vibes. Angelica, I see you. Family chiming in. Family chiming in. It's the vibes. What you say, Cosmo? They don't even know where the underworld is. Let's see, that's the thing. Osiris is supposed to be god of the underworld. Before Osiris was Anubis supposed to be god of the underworld. But then when the Christians talk about hell is under the earth or hell being below, how y'all gonna get mad at them when these concepts existed in Kemet? See, them kemetic, the Hebrew Israelites, y'all niggas ain't putting up the right question to these niggas, man. Y'all ain't doing it right, man. Y'all, that's why they keep beating y'all niggas up, because y'all ain't answering the right questions. Yes, family, you know how we do. It's a vibe. We keep it positive. Let's go to our commercial break. Make sure to get your bitters.
Bitter Sweet Herbals, where the taste is bitter, but the results are sweet. bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, definitely make sure to get your bitters. Keep the body pure, alkaline, and receiving the light of creative purification. Yeah. This is the underworld. Show me in the kemetic text where it says this is the underworld. We're not disagreeing with you. We want to show receipts. See, everything I presented, I showed you the receipts. And I just push the narrative after the receipts is shown. So what I say is valid because I showed the receipts first. So you show the receipts, we don't believe you. I showed you the receipts. If that Pharaoh was a traitor, that shows you right there. You just told on yourself. And Israel ain't have it all. Kemet ain't have it all together either. Everybody fucked over each other. The kemetic niggas killed kemetic niggas. Hebrews killed Hebrews. Greeks killed Greeks. Latins killed Latins. Englishmen killed Englishmen, and Africans killed Africans. Everybody is guilty of spilling blood within their own nationality. So all that I'm this and I'm that is out the window over here. And the reason why a lot of you act like that is because of your spiritual concepts coming from your gods. You follow the laws of your gods. Whatever your gods say is what you do. So if your gods say go rise up and slay men, that's what you're gonna do. Because I showed that in the book of, in your Bible, in Judges chapter 20. The children of Israel and the children of Benjamin wars. How these niggas were decimating each other within a span of 4 days, had 45,000 bodies piled up, brother killing brother. And this is the house of Israel. And then we could go showing the kemetic, starting with Narmer, how these niggas got 10 niggas with their heads chopped off. Which one of you niggas gonna chop off 10 niggas' heads? You know what it is to chop off, I'm West Indian, right? And you hear these things in the Caribbean. Like, for anybody that got West Indian background that comes from the Caribbean, heads being chopped off is something you hear. It's common. It's not common, but it's common. Yo, such and such boy, go to one of them, chop him off his head. I personally know a man who got his head goddamn taken off. Right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Right downtown on Auburn Avenue, over the bridge. It's a bridge, 7585, and below the bridge, Auburn Ave. It's like this. My man lost his head over that bridge. He fell over the bridge, fucking with the police, but that's another story. But saying that to say, in the Caribbeans, niggas get their heads chopped off. You can look up West Indian people getting their heads chopped off, or Jamaican people with heads chopped off, some shit like that, in Google or YouTube, and some videos will pop up. You know what I mean? They got gangsters in the Caribbeans that specialize in chopping niggas' heads off. That's what they do. So what I'm saying to you is this. And they even got videos of Spanish niggas chopping off chicks' heads, all type of crazy shit. But to sit there, chop a nigga head off, boom. Chop 10 niggas' heads off in a row. And you think you going to go see Osiris? You think you passing the laws of Maat doing that shit? Niggas got it twisted. What you say, Haru? Wickedness is not our brother. We will slay anyone who is wicked. I agree. But the sad thing about the situation is that brother been killing brother from the beginning. Moses seen an Egyptian fighting a brother, and Moses slayed the Egyptian according to the biblical narrative. These are two brothers now. These are two brothers. Moses could have went over there and said, stop it. Stop it. You Hebrew brother, stop it. You Egyptian brother, y'all are brothers. Why y'all fighting? Moses could have did that, but what Moses do according to the Bible? The nigga looked this way. The nigga looked that way. He made sure ain't nobody was looking, and he slew the Egyptian and buried the nigga in the sand. Brother killing brother right there in your Exodus story. So when we talk about destroying wickedness, the wickedness is in the brother. If the white man got it from us and he wicked, goddamn, nigga, you know, we all fucked up then. We all fucked up. That's right. It's over. Exactly. This is why you have to become spiritual. You have to let go of the carnal thinking of nationality, the black power movement, the white supremacy, all that shit gonna fucking fade away. We read yesterday the other day how both parties is gonna be cast equally, equally in hell. Those on the left far right and those on the left far left is gonna go equally into the goddamn places of torment after death. So it don't matter if you a black power supremacist, a white power supremacist, a Chinese supremacist, a Mexican supremacist, it don't matter. All y'all niggas gonna meet y'all fate in the same goddamn place. So spirituality is the lesson of the day. Creator is the lesson, man. Y'all keep following these satanic ass gods and thinking y'all getting somewhere. Y'all keep following these old ancient customs of ancient Egyptian and ancient Israel like y'all getting somewhere. Owaspi say the service done unto others is the foundation of your ascension spiritually. That's the most simplest thing. To serve others in righteousness don't require a book. It don't require a manual. But the only reason we got to catch it through his book because we done forgot. We got to read it through a book because we done forgot. We got to be reminded. We got to be reminded. Niggas got to be reminded how to do good because niggas done forgot. Niggas forgot how to do good. You dig? See, let me remind you because niggas forget quick. Now, keep in mind, I just showed you ancient Egyptians' kemetic spiritual system is to become one with Osiris based off the judgment hall of Maat. That's a daily thing you do while you alive to make sure your heart is in right with Maat being balanced. And then after you die, you go through the proceedings to become one with Osiris. That's what the text say. Don't let these other niggas come and tell you something different. I don't give a damn how many trips niggas done took to Egypt. I don't give a damn how long niggas been studying Egypt. I've been studying Egypt too for a long time. I started out with Egypt before I went to the Bible shit. You see me? So these spiritual concepts can be challenged. And the Owaspi is the greatest book to challenge it because the Owaspi is giving us a sum totality of the past history of the mortals and angels simultaneously leading up to our present time, showing you these false gods who assume to be creators, showing you the true God and his ascension for us to ascend into the Etherian realm. See, the key is ascension into the Etherian realm. What I just read from the kemetic studies, the judgment hall of Maat, it ain't saying nothing about ascending to the Etherian realms, nor did it say anything about ascending further than Osiris. It says if you pass these judges, if you pass these laws, you're going to become one with Osiris. When you read the pyramid text, it talks about becoming one with Osiris. And once you become one with Osiris, it's like you move. It's like Jesus. It's like you Christ and God. It's like you moving like that. Two embodied in one. You become one with Osiris. It say that in the text, the pyramid text of Unis. But we're gonna get to that when the time comes. But what I want to show you here, where is that? I want to show you that the Owaspi talks about ascension, real ascension. Not no play shit. Now you still locked into the lower realms. We talking about real ascension. So when we look here, what is resurrection of mortals? This is what we talking about. This is the earth plane, the atmospheric plane, and the etheric plane. And you have to get to these planes based off your grades. Your grade is the determined effect of your ascension. So just like the laws of Ma'at, those are the grades in order to become one with Osiris. But in the Owaspi, the real grades is the service done unto others. Book of Judgment. You know what? Let me goddamn. No, that's straight. Book of Judgment, right? 12, 3, and 6. These are the grades of the resurrections of the souls of men. See that? So we're talking about the resurrection of the souls of men, and of course, women and children. It states right here, verse 6. I people the heavens of the earth with the spirits of the dead, According to their what? Grade in their corporeal life, so do I arrange them. So you're judged according to your grade, and your grade determines your resurrection. I do not fill the air of the firmament with angels scattered about, but I give them regions habitable and homelike, and I grade the regions as how suitable they are to the resurrections of the spirits of the dead. So he's letting you know, like, yo, my heavens is not what scattered about. He said the heavens regions are inhabitable and home-like. See that? Habitable and home-like. So when you cross over, you're just not going to be in some wilderness or some spiritual wilderness. You're going to be seeing shit just like you've seen here. It's showing you the cross comparison of the spiritual realm. Now, these are the grades of mortals. This is what you got to do to ascend. This is the real laws of Maat. The service done unto others in comparison to the service done unto self. The more you serve others, the higher your grade is. The more you serve yourself, the lower your grade is. See that? You got the lowest, you got the highest. The lowest is serving self. For an example, you break bread, you help nobody, but you hoard everything for yourself. You go to the store, you buy things for you and nobody else. See what I'm saying? That's what a selfish person is. Someone who does and thinks for one's only self. It has the lowest grade. And we know people just like that. I'm sure you know people who don't like to share, who's selfish. You ask them for $1, they ain't gonna give it to you. We know people like that growing up. So they have the lowest grade if they don't change. Now we have the highest grade. The highest grade is someone who is helping people majority of the time. And you have people like that in the world who's constantly trying to give a helping hand. And within 1 and 99, within that realm is the balance between the service done unto others. If you're serving people 50% and serving yourself 50%, that means your grade is 50. For example, here's an example of a grade 50. A grade 50 is this. You get $100. Your man come up to you and say, yo, man, I need $50. And you break him off $50. That's the service that you served him and giving him. I'm using money because niggas understand money. You gave him $50. Now both of y'all can go to the store and break bread. Your grade is 50. Now vice versa. Say you come to him and is like, yo, man, he got 100. He said, yo, let me get 50. And the nigga say, no, I need that. I can't help you. And walk off. That's a low grade. Because he ain't break that 100. He being selfish. He kept 100% for himself. So he has a low spiritual grade for not helping his brother. But the brother that broke bread with him, broke him, gave him 50, he got 50, and they both eating, he maintains a grade of 50. Now you may have a brother, he may come to you and be like, yo, man, I need to borrow $100. And the nigga may be holding on to his last $100. He said, you know what? I'm going to give you this 100. Although it's my last $100, I'm going to give it to you. A nigga who talk like that got the highest grade. He moving at a grade 99 because he sacrificed what he had. He could have had to use that to pay her bill, to give it to his children, to feed his family. But instead, he gave you the whole 100 out of goodness and heart, the service done unto others. If a man move like that, he has the highest spiritual grade, or a woman, or even a child. They're moving in grade spiritually high if you do that. So these are examples that I'm giving you, which is the determining factor of your spiritual ascension. Now, this don't got to be money, but I just use money because niggas understand money. It could be anything. It could be goddamn whatever you serve, whatever you like to do, whatever it is. Clothing, fishing. Nigga, man, yo, I need to borrow fishing, right? It don't matter what it is. Helping somebody off the street, you know, turning somebody's mind from crime to positivity. All that is part of the ascension. All that is part of the service done unto others. Whatever talent you have installed in yourself, you have some people that have the gift of gab. They know how to talk. Use that to your advantage to do righteousness. You know what I mean? Persuade the minds of the young from crime and poverty to become independent. Show them. If you know how to do carpentry, show them. See that? This is the service done unto others. It ain't got nothing to do with nationality. It ain't got nothing to do with your race. It got something to do with you putting your hands and feet forward to serve others or yourself. Well, now, let's get it. States what? Whether on earth or in heaven, the same rules apply to both. See that? He who serves himself one half and serve others one half stand grade 50. And that's what we just showed. They stand grade 50. That's a grade 50. That's an example. So if you live your whole life being balanced, your grade would be 50. And that's where you ascend, because grade 50 starts in the second atmospheric region. So you're not going to be a lingering spirit in the lower grades. Once you maintain a grade 50 when you cross over, guess what? You ascending up here. Because the atmosphere is arranged based off the grades. See that? This is the true spiritual system that the OSB is talking about. This is for everyone. Only your creator will give a universal system for everyone to get a piece of that Etherian inheritance. Keep in mind, Egypt, Israel, all this on grade 1, that's the earth. Everybody want to go back to the earth. The New Jerusalem coming from heaven down to the earth. The judgment hall of Maat to be one with Osiris was in the pyramids on the earth. Niggas wasn't talking about ascending off the planet. Niggas wasn't talking about graduating. They was talking about the underworld, staying down here. Only the OSB talks about ascending to the Etherian worlds outside of the earth and its atmosphere. Every other book is keeping you gridded on the earth. See that? And these are just more examples of the service of the grades. He who serve himself 3/4 and others 1/4 shall stand grade 25. He who serve himself 1/4 and others 3/4 shall stand grade 75. So, and he who serves himself only shall stand grade 1. So these are grades right here. If you serving yourself only, you down there in the lowest grades. See that? All these people down here are cheap. All these people out here are selfish. They don't want to help nobody. That's how the wealthy get wealthy, by being hoarding up and being selfish. But if you constantly giving away what one has, that's how you spiritually have a higher grade. See that? But look what it states here. He who serves others wholly stand grade 99. So while you serving yourself getting rich, getting wealthy, looking good before the people, but your spiritual grade is low, when you cross over, you descending here. But those who are looked at as crazy for giving away what they have to serve others in righteousness, guess what? Spiritually, you're going to be up here. What it states, he who serve others wholly, meaning 99%, shall stand grade 99. So when you cross over in spirit, you go into the highest atmospheric realm in preparations for ascension or the harvest during the harvest time. So the Owaspis ain't leaving Yeah, man, I was damn logged out. Screen went blank. I'm over there going in like, yeah, man, I'm going in. Screen blank like a motherfucker, yo. You know what? Hold up. Let me log back out and log back in. It's a blood clot vibe.